What's up, everybody? This is Oklahoma Purple, and this is my first live stream. Sorry I'm late. So I'm going to wait a little bit and wait on a few more people to come on in. There's a couple things that I wanted to talk about today. The main thing I wanted to talk about today is wildfires. We've been having a lot of wildfires. Just the camera. We've been having a lot of wildfires and daily here. Just constant. It's ridiculous. So I just wanted to touch the subject a little bit. And we have, hey, what's up, Volcano? Hey, Volcano, I'm doing this on my phone, so it does not allow me to do like Hangouts or anything like that. So I don't know, like, it doesn't allow me to invite people in like Oily does. So, yeah, that's kind of a bad thing. So, anyways, gotta get my. This is my. I don't know. This is oh, trust me, Volcano. I am. Hey, how'd you guys like that? How'd you guys like that? Missile launch warning. All right, so we've been having a lot of wildfires lately, and these are a daily occurrence, and my hair is completely messed up. Um, oh, did you? Hi, Weed Tree. Hey guys, how y'all doing? Anyways, we've been having a lot of wildfires lately, and I mean, these things are really bad. We've actually had to call forestry out a couple of times for them because they are just that bad. So there's a couple things I wanted to kind of touch base with everyone on, and that's, first of all, um, safety is, if you guys end up in a area where wildfire is present, the best thing you can do is get out of the area when you know that your area is being threatened. Do not drive into smoke or heavy smoke or anything. So, hang on, I gotta try to fix things. I don't know. Okay. Anyways, do not try to drive into smoke because you could accidentally hit someone or something. Because in the event of wildfires, sometimes, and I don't recommend it, this is not how I do things or my department does things. Um, some departments will actually let cattle loose, and that will cause, just to try to save them. But that also causes a big situation. What's up, trying surviving? Thanks for the subscription, by the way, and I did subscribe back to you. But some fire departments will let cattle out and to try to save them, and that creates a hindrance. That creates a new issue, and people will actually hit the cows, and that's not really a good thing. Um, so try not to drive into heavy or thick smoke, and pull over. This is one thing that aggravates me. Pull over and slow down for passing emergency vehicles, because number one, it is the law in Oklahoma. How you doing, Frugal? I'm glad to see you back. Um, hope you've been doing better. I saw that you were in the hospital a little bit ago. So move over and slow down, because it's the law, and it's common courtesy to please do that, because we are trying to get out there and fight fire and save property and possibly lives. So move over, slow down, do not drive into thick or heavy smoke, and evacuate the area if possible. Now, I want a couple of things that we can talk about that I want to talk about helping us save your house or save your property is keeping things away from the yard, keeping things outside of the house, away from the house. If you have lawn furniture that, for example, if you have patio furniture that has the foam cushions, you want to get those away from the house, or take them inside to keep any fuels from being that close to your house. And we don't want, an ember to drift over and um, exactly. That's what I was getting at. Hawaii. We don't want any embers to get over into any um, debris or any fuels that are around the house, which could take a spark and create an even worse situation. Brush clearance, as Hawaii Volcanoes mentioned, we want to keep all the brush, any leaf litter, any grass clippings, anything away from the house if possible, because as I said before, those fire embers or firebrands as we call them, those embers will blow up into the house and catch that leaf litter. If you've got leaves piled up near the house, or if you've got grass clippings, that leaf litter will catch those sparks and will take off, especially on a very windy day. So make sure you do that. Keep your leaf litter and the outside area of your house really maintained, really clean. And the same thing goes with pine needles, leaves build up on your roof in those little areas where the roof pitch meets. That will also uh, catch a spark, and then you've got an even worse than a fire starting at the base of your house. Now we have a fire starting in the roof of the house, and that's a lot harder for us to get to, especially as a wildland fire crew. We don't have ladders with us. We mostly just have, Pulaski's, shovels, axes, um, rakes, and other hand tools of that. We rarely carry water. So anything you can do as far as, keeping your gutters clean, keeping leaf litter and other stuff away from the roof of the house will definitely be a big help. Um, so, yeah, weed tree, that's exactly what I was going for. Keep sprinklers uh, near your house and your yard on your roof. Um, it is very important that you do that to raise the moisture content of the fuels, the fine fuels around your area, your house, the yard. And even, if you have any outlying buildings, sprinklers around there as well will help to raise the moisture content and reduce fine fuels. Some of the things you want to do when you're building or repairing a house is keep firewise. Keep your mind in a firewise condition. And what we mean by firewise is if you're going to be doing a privacy fence around your house, make sure that if you do get privacy fence that goes directly up to your house, anything closer in about 4 foot range or more, at the very minimum, I believe the minimum is 5 foot. So if you have any wood privacy fencing that goes up to your house, that 5 foot section that touches your house from the wall out along the fence line, you want to make that as flame retardant as possible. They have types of faux or plastic that have very high melting points, so that any grass fire, any type of fire like that, will not easily ignite it. So let's see, your vents, your overhead vents in your house, make sure that those have proper coverings on them, screens, and in some of the testing that I've seen in building constructions and constructing small houses or garages and stuff like that on prefabricated buildings, a lot of people have a really thick, I don't really want to say thick screen, but it's a very open screen on their eave vents, their crawl space vents, and that is one thing that has been proven to fail because those firebrands or those embers will blow in through that spring or the screen, excuse me, and land on your insulation or in any of that fuel that you have in your crawl space and ignite it. And now, on top of having a roof fire, you have a fire inside the roof above the ceiling. So it's even harder to get to as wildland firefighters. So, I know this is very, very morbid, but I have to be honest with you. This is a um, this is a when we're going out assessing who is and is not firewise, as far as when we're on a wildfire, if we see that you've got a wood pile right next to your house, you've got your firewood, or you've been cutting down limbs around your house, and all those limbs are piled up right next to the house, we're going to walk by it, and we're not even going to try to make an attempt to save the house, because that's too much work that we have to do. That's too much time that we have to do to spend on trying to save that house, and we have to make the decision. We don't like making that decision, and I don't want to sound like we just don't care. We hate making that decision to walk on by. We really hate that, and it really hurts. It really does pull on us, and it's the same thing as if you were driving by and you had a fire truck. You were driving a fire truck and drove by and you saw a house and said, "Oh, well, I'm not going to do that. I don't want to do it." That's just um, the guilt that we feel when we have to pass up on trying to save someone's house is tremendous, and it is a waste of time, and it is a waste of resources, because in that 10 minutes that it could have taken us to properly save your house, now we're working 2 hours to try to get brush and other stuff cleared away from your house. So help us help you when you are uh, when we're fighting fires around your area, your house. Help us help you save your house, so that you guys can go home at the end of the day. Um, so if you guys have large areas of land, lots of property, then one of the best things you can do when it comes to that is, if you have a tractor with a plow, go plow up your field. Give a good fire break, at least 30 feet, depending on how the wind is. These winds that we've been having here in Oklahoma the last few days have been creating 400 foot per second, or 400 foot per minute flame spread. So the rate of spread is 400 feet per minute, and that is crazy fast. You cannot outrun that. Um, you can't outrun it for very long, should I say. So, if you have trees that are really, really close to your house, which I should not even be talking, because I have right outside this wall behind me, there are 4 trees along that fence. And, but they are very quick, easy, and small. So if I have to take them down, it's going to take me a whole 10 minutes of work to get it done. So I will have um, quite a bit of extra time to be able to do my own work. Yes, trying surviving. The wind Monday was absolutely insane. Actually, the wind the last couple of days has been just absolutely crazy. Um, Volcano free mac and cheese. Heck yeah. We gotta be able to, well, you know what? We could cook it. We've got fire and we've got water, so we could cook the mac and cheese. But yeah, trying to survive. And the wind has been absolutely insane the last few days. Um, let's see, I believe Monday is when it first came in, and there was a fire out east of me, in a few counties over, and they were fighting it for a few days. They're actually still fighting it, I believe. And that same time, there was a fire up north of me, a county north of me, that they ended up having to fight, and it came into our county. And those, both of those fires, were requesting my local department assistance, and we actually had to turn one department down because we have, uh, the departments up here were on fires, and we're having to be staged to protect, and getting ready to get called out because of for task force runs. So it's really, um, it's never easy to say no when a department is calling for help, because we have one that's threatening our community, our county, and we have to stay and protect it while, you know, they're over there fighting so hard to keep fires away from their residents and their, livestock, and trying to save their lives and property as well. There's really not something easily that can be done. And for those of you that aren't familiar with Oklahoma, it is, we have very mild winters, or we can have a harsh winter. We don't know. There's, I think, a couple of weeks, it was a week ago or so, maybe. I think temperatures actually got up to 90 in some areas here in Oklahoma, and that's at record highs. So that goes to show how our weather is. And um, today it was, I believe, 65, and it's, what is this, January 25th, and it was 65 degrees today. That's just every day in the winter, just about every day in the winter for us. We have had maybe a light dusting of snow this year. Um, yeah, Frugal, the fires I was talking about were actually your fires, that I was just talking about. So, you know, we are, it's very, very difficult for us to be able to fight fire with the weathers that we have throughout the year. Um, it is very treacherous. Our terrain is very hit or miss. We could be in absolute prairie land, or we could be in hills and valleys and creeks and all kinds of stuff. So anything that the homeowner or the property owner can do to help save um, their land is a tremendous help for us. Um, a lot of things that people don't understand and don't realize is when we get called out to wildfires, we may be on those fires for days. We may be out on a fire for an hour or two. Um, we may be, you know, out on fires for days. Uh, Evergreen trees are very dangerous. They are very high in oil and go up just as fast as if they were soaked in gasoline. So, anything that you guys can do as just people to help the fire departments is a big help, because like I said, we could be there on fires for several days. We could be on fires for an hour or two. So if you guys, next time you guys go out and go grocery shopping, get an extra case of water, and it's $2 or $3 for an extra case of water. Take it down to the fire department and drop it off, and say, hey, next time you guys go out on a big fire, these are your waters. If you guys in your area, there's usually an organization to help with stuff like that, and it's usually the firefighters' wives or firefighter family, brothers, sisters, whatever, that get together and do these things for when these guys are out fighting fire. In Oklahoma, there's a company called Multi-County Fire Corps, and they go throughout different parts of the state, and it is a very, very small 501c3 organization. They have members spread out throughout the state, and they try to help firefighters, EMS, police, in any type of situation, any type of disaster, whether it be wildfire, whether it be tornado damage, flooding, any type of damage, or anything where fire, police, and EMS is needed on a long-term basis. They usually go out there and help them as well. So that's another organization to think about. Red Cross, I don't like talking bad about anyone or any organization, but Red Cross is very, very hit or miss when we have to call them out, because they may come out. They may say they're going to come out and not come out, or they may not answer the call at all. Or if they do come out, they come out with 100 people with zero resources. I've seen that happen several times, and I'm very disappointed to say that. I just wish that the organization would be better if they would actually hold up to what they claim that they do. Sorry guys, I had to get my soda water going. So, my cat is standing outside, meowing to get in. But, so, please donate, help. Am I dipping? No. I'm drinking Pepsi. Breakfast of Champions right there. So, if you guys have a couple extra dollars to spare next time you guys go grocery shopping, pick up a case of water, or anything that they can use for snacks, whether it be any kind of non-expiration or high shelf life snack that they could use. Baby wipes, eye drops, anything that they they could use out there on the fire line is a big help. I know, right? You let the cat in. So another thing that fire departments really, people don't understand. Okay, fine, I'll let the cat in. So other things that fire departments, people don't understand that fire departments are very short of, and that is money. Some fire departments just rely completely on donations from you guys as citizens, and others absolutely don't even have that luxury. So your fire department may rely on donations. Your fire department may rely on yeah, ask myself who's in charge. You guys are in charge, obviously. Cats' rights. Some fire departments may rely on donations. Some may actually have an income um, that help them out. Um, I know my department, we relied on a tax, and we got 1/15 of a cent, and that was distributed by 12, I think, volunteer departments. Actually, 12 fire departments. Every department benefited on that tax, whether it was paid or volunteer. So we had to split a 15th of a cent 12 ways. So you can imagine how difficult that is. So you know the only income that we usually have as firefighters is anything that you guys donate, and sometimes we don't even get an income. We get is, uh, you know, and I'm not saying that your donations aren't enough. Your donations are absolutely critical. You know, um, so uh, anything that you guys can do to donate to the fire departments is a big help. $1 or $2, case of water, 2 cases of water. That stuff goes a long ways and is very, very critical to how we operate in determining what how our safety is. So we can go out there and fight fire for a couple of days, so thirsty with no water, so hungry we haven't had any food in the last couple of days. Literally, don't even understand. I can look back and on these fires that I've been on and wonder how I even made it through the 26, 30 hours of fighting fire with nothing to eat or drink. So, it's really hard uh, for us to be able to do anything that we need to do without the help from you guys. So, um, I completely got way sidetracked on the topic, and I really wanted to focus mostly on what you guys can do to help um, help us help you to save your property. So if you guys have trees, low-lying branches around your roof of your house, get them cut back and keep them away, from the house or in the roof. Another thing you guys can do is, like I said, if you have um, sprinklers, water sprinklers, and water hydrants spaced out around your house, then turn your sprinklers on, lace them all together, turn your sprinklers on, and if you have to evacuate, because um, fire is not forgiving. It's not forgiving at all. Um, so just kind of help us with bringing the moisture content of the ground, the fine dead fuels up around your property. Um, let's see. If you guys have, like I said, if you guys have cases of water there at your house, your property, um, set them out. If you guys want to donate them to the fire departments, set them out with a note on their fire department use, free for fire departments or firefighters, so that when they come out to fight, help protect your house, they have something. Oh man, these guys donated, these guys gave us a case of water, or anything that would help them, and if you decide, and some places force you to evacuate, some places warn you that you need to evacuate. So if you guys do decide to stay, just kind of help out a little bit. If there's a fire crew out there, just kind of give them some water and a bite to eat, a sandwich or something. That way it helps build up their energy and boost their morale. Because really, when you've been out there fighting fire for 26 hours, and all it's a chaotic scene. You've got just people yelling back and forth, and it just kind of brings you down but it's not in a bad way. You know, the yelling is not in a bad way. It's just things are so chaotic that, you know, your adrenaline is going. So anything that will help boost morale, even write a spray paint on a sign that says "Thank you, firefighters." You know, that is a big help. That is, you know, it really is a big help to us. Hey, what's up, plant based? Uh, just uh, just talking about some things that people can do as to help fight fires or help prevent their home and property from being overtaken in wildland fires. So, you know, so far we've gone over, you know, keeping your gutters and your yard cleaned, keeping sprinklers out close to, uh, keeping them out and on during fire situations. And if you guys have a couple of extra dollars, you know, next time you guys go grocery shopping, pick up an extra case or two of water and send them to the fire department. And you know, stuff like that is absolutely appreciated. So yeah, plant based. We've been fighting fires down here a long time. I think we had, I think every day this week we've had fires. I mean, there's fires going on right now. Um, so you know, it's really crazy that we're in the situation that we're in, and people don't realize that. And another thing that people don't realize is, you know, when we are we in the summer we'll get about 2 inches of rain. The next day will be hot and windy, and people will think it's okay to burn any trash or anything. And the fact of the matter is you know, actually the opposite, because what happens is the hot air is going to dry out the surface grass a lot quicker than anything else. So that surface grass or the fuels is completely dried out, and now the only thing that's moist is below the grass, and that's just a bunch of mud. So we get out there on these fires with high winds going, and you know, huge fire, and we get out there and get off the road, and as soon as we get off the road, every one of our fire trucks are stuck in the mud, and we are just completely standing there helpless. So it is very, very dangerous to fight fire or to do any type of burning in the summer, even after there's 3 inches of rain. Because what's going on is that rain has not had a chance to absorb into the grass, be taken in by the grass root, and distributed out through the leaf and turn back green and come to life. So yeah, we are very much a flyover state, or as I would call for the roadsters, a napping state. Oklahoma is where you want to take a nap to get through town. Um, yeah. Hey, I want to tell you guys, if you guys go over to Plant Based Outdoors page, he is a fellow Okie, of course, and check out his page. He's got some great videos and stuff up there, and we have we made a plan to go out on a kind of collab video. I was going to go up there and go camping with him, go out on a camp out with him and kind of trade skills and trade knowledge, but the weather and some other things. Oh, yeah, the weather and the big surprise did not allow for that. So it's a little bit difficult to get things going on when you have very little time, and a lot of things are going on. So exactly, Hawaii. That is after the fires, with all the vegetation gone, nothing to hold topsoil in place during flash floods, and roads and cars get buried in mud. that is true, and that is actually something that is actually almost exactly what happened in um, the Dust Bowl days. We were in such a bad drought that this place was absolutely a desert, and the livestock overgrazed all the pastures and stuff. And here in Oklahoma, we got heavy high winds all the time, and that just pushes the dust um, everywhere. So, um, Wee Tree, I really wish you would have let me know about that about 3 weeks ago, because yeah, um, California, Washington, and Oregon have been battling wildfires for several years, and they're just constant, and they get very little relief in between. Alaska, I think it was two years ago. Alaska was battling huge wildfires as well. Australia, I think they have calmed down with their wildfires that were going on a few weeks ago, but it's very dangerous. It's very fire doesn't care. Fire does not care where you're at, what you're doing, where you live. Fire is going to happen. So please always be safe uh, when you're out in areas where wildfire is present. Some of I a lot of the things that have been going wrong with fires and fire situations is vehicles breaking down and stuff like that. So um, sometimes we'll be out uh, on a road trying to get to your house, and you know our we have a blowout, or we have a something go wrong with the tire, and now we're just left stuck on the side of the road. So um, let's see what else. I think it's going to do it for that little topic, but I'll just sit here and chat for a little bit. Plant-based outdoors. You mix the high Oklahoma wind and the dry winters, and it's a sure way to get wildfire started. That vibrated in y'all's ear, didn't it? It sure did. Sorry about that. But and on top of that, the terrain we have out here is just absolutely insane. Um, when I was in fire school, Trying Surviving said I was driving back from Burns Flat last Friday. A trucker threw a lit cigarette out of the window on I-40. I didn't know this, but in fire school, our instructor told us that it is so hard with a lit cigarette to start a fire, and I've seen it happen. I've been out when somebody throws a lit cigarette out and catches fire, and they pull over, call 911, and say, "Hey, I threw a lit cigarette out. I wasn't paying attention. It caught a fire." And we get out there and talk to them, and it happens very often. But in fire school, when I was taking my wildland fire through OSU, I was taught that it is very, very hard to do that. The conditions have to be absolutely precise for you to be able to throw a lit cigarette out on the grass and spark a big fire like that. So, I'm not saying it's okay to do it, because by all means it's not. But, a lot of people panic about that. But it's always safe to not do it anyway. Yeah, we don't need any help. You're right, trying to survive. That's what I was saying. It's It's just food for thought. I didn't know that until I went into fire school, and our instructor said that he sat there and you know tried so hard to light a pile of dead grass on fire with a lit cigarette. And he said he tried and tried and tried, and it did not do anything. So, fire conditions plant-based outdoors asks, do you think fire conditions are worse in the winter or summer? Where okay, it depends on where you are plant-based, because fire conditions here right now are just as bad as they are in the summer. So it really depends. Um, it really depends on where you're at, because fires. I mean, we are borderline a desert anyway. We're a borderline desert. Part of the year we can have, um, uh, yeah, part of the year we can have torrential rains. We have a beautiful green lush countryside, and some of the year it's just dead. So it really doesn't matter. Plant based. There's no fire does not judge on whether it's too hot outside or too cold outside. The basis on what is going to start a fire and how bad a fire is going to be is humidity. Um, when we look at our fire danger maps, we look at um, what's called the 1 hour burn index, or the 1 hour burn fuel. What we'll do is we'll take that relative humidity and we will divide that by 5, and that number that we get is our 1 hour burn fuel. And those 1 hour burn fuels, such as light grass, leaves, Johnson grass, stuff like that, is if that number gets below a 9, then we can start really paying attention that, hey, you know, the 1 hour burn fuels is getting down below a 9. We could get one. We could. When 1 hour burn fuels are down at 7, we're at the fire station waiting. And when the 1 hour burn fuels get down to a 5, we are on a fire. I mean, we're on a rapid, fast moving fire. And those 1 hour burn fuels, or that humidity, can occur in any time of the year. It can be fall, spring, winter, summer, or whatever. Um, as long as that humidity is low enough to bring that 1 hour burn fuel down, then there will be fire. Um, so it really doesn't matter winter or summer. Fire is very deadly. Fire is deadly. Fire is very dangerous. Fire is rapid spread here in Oklahoma. Um, but in Oklahoma during the winter, we do get more wind. We have more wind days in the winter than we do in the summer or spring. So, it's really, you get high winds pushing fires in the winter, or you get hot air, hot, dry air aiding in the spread of fire in the summer. So it's really, you can't really um, base whether or not a fire is going to be more dangerous in the winter or summer on temperature. It is all just bad. Um, Sunday through Thursday, we have high winds all year. Is that what you said? Plant based. But yeah, we do have high winds all year. Um, we have they're mostly a winter thing. Higher winds are mostly the winter thing, um, but in the summer heat. Um, oh yeah, I got you, plant based. Shoot, we have high winds all year. Yeah, yeah, we do. Um, we it's very rough. So I, a few years ago, when I was in high school, I was on a fire department when I was in high school. We got called out to Stevens County, Duncan, Oklahoma, and there was a big wildfire they had out there and killed a firefighter, Destry Horton, and that was a really rough thing for us to do. And the cause of that fire was determined it was arson. Some people were out driving in the back roads and started the fire. They claimed that the door came open and a Roman candle fell out, rolled out of the car onto the road, and a spark had somehow hit the fuse and set it off. So, those kids, I don't know if they were kids, but those people ended up charged with that incident. So, anytime you guys see smoke or see flame in your area or wherever you're at, call 911 and report it, because the quicker that the fire department can get there to respond to take care of that, the less likely that we are to have to call mutual aid and get more fire departments and more resources out that can possibly, um, raise the threat of hurting someone. So, be firewise. Uh, if you guys have some plows and tractors, build a good fire break around all your property, around your house. Make sure you get the trees. Um, Make sure you get trees trimmed down and keep the trees a good distance away from your house, at least 50 foot. Um, One or two shade trees is okay, but just not entirely overdoing it. Make sure that grass, leaf litter, gutters, leaves are all cleaned out of your off of your roof and through your gutters and away from the house. That way, if fire embers do um, uh, build up in that area, they will not have any fuel to burn on. Um, Sprinklers, water sprinklers. If you guys have sprinklers, and good water hose, keep it stretched out around your house. And in the event that there is a fire in your area and you have to evacuate, turn those sprinklers on and leave. If you guys, I know this is a little bit more expensive. What I'm gonna, my next suggestion is gonna be a little bit more expensive, but it does help a lot in the long run. If you guys just happen to have a big water tank from a well or anything laying around on your properties. I know this question seems a little bit far fetched, but you would not believe how many poly tanks that farmers and ranchers have around their property. Um, Fill one up, keep it near a road, fill it up, and put a drain valve. That way, if a fire department is passing through and there's a fire in the area, you can call the fire department, call the dispatcher's office, and say, "Hey, this is so and so at this area. I'm on this road. There's a fire out there, and I know firefighters out there fighting fire. So please let them know that um, that they can come out to my house. There's a water tank in front of the yard out by the road. They can fill up there." And that saving a 5 minute, that 5 minute difference in having to go all the way to the next hydrant, or just pulling up right there, can be the matter of 1 acre or 100 acres of loss. So that's something to take into consideration. So Called the police one time. Kids were shooting off fireworks in the creek. But back. Oh my goodness, that's crazy. So that's going to do it for that. The subject on wildfire. So I'm gonna stay on here and chat a little bit with you guys because it's been a while since we've been on live, and I know Oily's been not. She's been really under the weather. So so if you guys have any good thoughts to send for her, please do so because she's been battling the flu. So another thing, since we're done with the subject of the fires, and I do not like to talk about politics, but I was told that there's a Russian spy sub within 9 miles of Virginia and the coast. I don't know how true that is, but things are starting to get crazy. Oh. So, I don't know if you guys have saw lately. If you guys haven't checked out my last 2 videos, I've got posted up. Go check those out later. That video of those the homeowners, the home defense shooting, plant-based. That video, the original video, was out of Florida. And if you guys haven't seen that video yet, check it out. It's really aggravating. This this lady was alerted by her home security company that there was a break-in, and she went. She called the police and went to her house to make sure that it wasn't a false alarm. And when she got there, the individual that was breaking into her house was crawling out of the window, and there was an altercation that ended up happening. I don't know if it was a verbal altercation or physical, but the 56-year-old lady ended up having to pull her firearm out and shot the individual that had broke into her house and was then in an altercation with, and killed him. As the interview goes on, the family members, the sister and cousin, are sitting there saying that, who are you to take the law into your own hands? You've already called the police. Why couldn't you wait on them? She has no right to do that. And that the suspect, the individual that was shot and killed, was a very loving person, loved school, loved education, loved learning, and he had big aspirations in life. And then a few seconds later, she says, "You have to think," and I quote, this is a quote, "You have to think about all the other kids that grew up in the hood. Where are we going to get our food? Where are we going to get our clothes?" So basically, she is trying to justify him breaking into this house with, we grew up in the hood. We don't have any clothes or food. So that allows us to break into your house and steal stuff. And that is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. And that goes, you know, the reason I entitled my video, ironically, people think that they are so entitled, is because of that right there. Because is it seriously raining right now? Because your life is better than mine and I grew up bad, that entitles me to break into your house and steal your stuff. So, you know, people, instead of you know, taking responsibility, getting a job, going out there and doing everything they can to make the world a better place, make everything better for them, they want to go to the people that work hard and steal from them. They want to steal from the productive citizens, the tax-paying citizens, the good citizens, instead of getting a job themselves. They justify it, breaking into somebody's house and stealing their stuff with, I grew up in the hood, my life was bad. So I don't know if it is plant-based. I heard what sounded like rain falling on my tin roof outside my porch. So maybe it was just the wind. I don't know. Yeah, government does the Hawaii Volcano Squad says the government does the same thing, except they call it taxes, raising taxes. Yeah, the government steals your money, but they call it taxes. It's just, yeah, it could be a burglar. Oh, I better not shoot him because that's not my right. That's not, you know, I'm not the victim. They are. So, all right, Frugal, I'll check it out. But you know, take responsibility. Kids these days need to just take responsibility, and you know, take responsibility. Own up to their issues. Own up to your responsibilities instead of relying on somebody else to do things for you. For those of you who do not know, there's a lot of things I can't do because of my back. I have to have back surgery, and my doctor cannot. That's exactly what it is. Plant-based. It's no discipline. If I was ever to think about doing anything wrong, I had a belt to me. I was one of them little out of control kids, and I'll be honest with you, I was. But I got that belt taken to me, and that thing straightened me out. But take responsibility for your own actions. Don't rely on someone else to be there to support you and to take care of you through life, because that's not the way things are. You have a responsibility as an adult to go out and be a productive citizen and do things as an adult. I see the Try and Surviving says, I see the entitled every day with my job. I believe that. Honestly, there is a very select few people in this country now that think that they're not entitled. I, for one, I absolutely know that I'm not entitled to anything that I don't work for. I as a young at a young age, when I was a kid, as long as I can remember, I was with my dad, out working in the cornfields or out on the road shearing sheep, um, or in the watermelon fields, because around here that's what we all have. That's what all of our work is watermelon fields, um, shearing sheep, and all kinds of other stuff. So as far as I can remember, I was out there with him doing it. So even before I was old enough to understand what the value of a dollar meant, I was out there earning that dollar, and so to speak. I wouldn't say I was earning the dollar. I was learning. My dad taught me a lot of stuff, and I'm really thankful for that. And also taught me that um, in order to get what you want, you have to work hard for it. So, and I know that I think that's what came back to bite me in the butt, because now that I'm literally, I guess you could say I'm in the prime of my life, and I can't do anything because of my back, because it is just all kinds of messed up. But that's just the way life is. That's just the way the cards are dealt, and I have to deal with it. I have to suck it up, and I still have to be an adult and take my responsibility for everything that I've done on my own. All right, guys, it's been an hour. I'm going to go ahead and shut chat down, or shut the video down, the live stream. I want to say thank you all for coming out and checking out my videos. If you guys haven't seen anything, you guys that are watching, Trying Surviving has a channel. We Tree has a channel. Living Frugal and Prepping. Every one of my guys that are commenting in here have channels, so check them out. Like and subscribe their stuff, and I guarantee you that I watch every one of these guys every day. So guys, check out each other's channels. I hope you guys enjoyed this live chat. This is my first one. Can y'all believe that? Finally, with a new phone, I had to get a new phone, and now I get to be able to live stream on Facebook. So I have just a reminder for you guys, I have some big, huge, important news coming up in the future. And when that gets here, when that whole thing is ready to go, it is going to, yeah, We Tree was shocked to see this. When everything is ready to take motion, I will be doing a live video that day. I don't know when it is. I really don't. I don't know when, what time. But if you guys have Facebook, look me up on Facebook, The Oklahoma Prepper, and follow me on there, and I will give an update on that at the very least. I have yet to master live, because I didn't go live until like 10 after, and I was wanting to go live at 7. So I am very unmastered at the live stream. But anyways, be sure to like that page. That way, whenever the time is to go live with that, then I will do that, and you guys will be notified. I want to say thanks to everybody that was in here in chat tonight. I want to say thanks to everybody that's watching that's not live. If you guys haven't liked and subscribed, do that. Leave comments and check out the other members that I have on my chat. And the guys that are in chat, leave a comment down below so that I can get all my viewers to like and subscribe to your guys' stuff. So, and I promise you guys that do that, y'all will enjoy it. I love their videos. I love all of their stuff. Everybody in here has great videos. So, I think I'm going to call it. You guys have a good night. Stay safe and keep prepping. And now I got to figure out how to turn this live thing off. Yeah, give me about 10 minutes. Help me. All right, I think I got it.